This week we're staying at Thousand Trails Ponderosa, which we'll show you around in a moment. But first, today we're heading out to explore the local state park where they discovered gold in 1848. Let's go. So we just cycled very short distance actually from our campground, Thousand Trails Ponderosa, to Marshall Gold Discovery State Historic Park. It's literally right next door to our campground on the river here, and this is the area where they first discovered gold in 1848 and started the California Gold Rush. So we're going to have a picnic lunch, and then we're going to cycle around, walk around, and see all the historic sites. There's a blacksmith and a shop with ice cream. Jamie won't let me forget that. Nope.
And a gift shop and a historic post office and a historic mill, stuff like that. So let's go.
We actually ended up moving a little bit because it's further than we thought it was going to be to the next stop. So we parked up the bikes over here next to more restrooms. There's a lot of restrooms here. And now we're heading out to start our exploration.
And this is where the historic California Gold Rush started. Right here. This is the site of the old mill. Pretty cool. Well, at least the slave owner didn't make any money from his own gold mining operation. That's good.
This is the sawmill that the man had made to basically cut down all the trees, but then they actually discovered gold, and all the people came for the gold rush. Nobody wanted to work in his sawmill anymore, and so it closed down and he lost money, which was okay because he was a slave owner. He enslaved the local, I think it's pronounced Nisanan people, who were the native people who lived in this area. He coerced them into making the sawmill and then enslaved them. So we're not sad that he lost all of his money. I actually really get close enough to see it that well, but basically how this used to work was water used to flow down here through there and it would go back at the other side, but when it went in it would turn that wheel, which would then, not really tall enough, but it would turn the saw, and then they would push the trees through,
and then the lumber would come down here.
It would come out. And these things were only temporary. Basically, once they'd cut down all the trees in the area, they just left it and moved on. But apparently it was a big enough payoff. Once they'd built it, it was quasi-automated, and it made enough money that it made it worth it. Bully for them. So one of the things that's always been wild to me about the California Gold Rush is how far people came. So people came from Hawaii, Australia, Mexico, Peru, Chile, and Europe just to find gold here. And that's not like, you just hopped on a plane and you were from Europe and you were in California 12 hours later. This was like weeks later. And you had to hope that, all the gold hadn't been found by then. But there was also one in 5 of the mining communities made up were by Chinese people, and because they were fleeing famine and unrest back in China to hopefully find their fortunes here in California.
This day, some kind of metal was found in the tail race that looks like gold. Henry Bigler, 1848. This is the historic landmark for Sutter's Mill, which they erected and put this plaque in on the centennial celebration of the mill itself in 1946. That's pretty cool.
Recreation of the original sawmill. This was actually the location of the original sawmill, so it was much closer to the river, but when they abandoned it, it actually ended up getting the river changed where it was and ended up just basically washing it away and covering it up. And then there was 50 years later, there was a low water line, and they basically rediscovered it, and archaeologists rushed while the water was low, rushed in to preserve where the gold rush started. So it was nice that they were able to kind of reclaim that history.
Don't postpone your happiness. Good advice. The gun shop is the oldest commercial building in the town. And there's a big pupper. What a floof. Sign of the large coffee pot. So basically it was like the original Starbucks. And there you go, riding shotgun. I'm gonna say he's out of business.
Well, I love the
to be the 1925 era. Very cool. Do not touch. No. All these books, and Jamie can't touch a single one. Those are the skid marks from where a truck came through. I love that stove. What year is that? Okay. That's cool. Oh, very cool. Where did he go to do that?
They have a cannon, but not normally do they set it off.
I mean, you have a video of me doing the one in Scotland, so. Oh, jeez.
There you go.
Very cool. Love that.
We just came from a week camping in San Francisco in what essentially was a parking lot to this. We've got this beautiful site nestled in amongst these trees. And then this is the view out of our front door. We had full hookups with 50, 20, 30, and sewer. The power was in a bit of a weird location, but we managed to make it work. Our neighbor was a little close, but thankfully for 2 of the days nobody was there. We managed to set up our full outdoor kitchen with the air fryer, instant pot, and Tim's grill, and we tucked the bikes away behind the back so that nobody stole them. The campground lies right along this riverfront, and we were in one of 3 spots on the river that had sewer, so that was nice. We really enjoyed our stay at Thousand Trails Ponderosa, but that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you tune in for the next video when we're exploring Sacramento.